Earlier, I pointed toward a tension that rarely feels like loss. It usually feels like expansion. More people involved, more perspectives considered, more movement across systems. From the outside, that can look like scale, like maturity, like growth. But underneath that expansion, something quieter begins to shift. Not control disappearing, not authority being removed, something more subtle. The sense of where decisions actually come from becomes less defined. And once that definition softens, something begins to fragment. This shows up first in how decisions are interpreted. A direction is set, but understood slightly differently in each place it lands. No single interpretation feels incorrect. It stays hidden because everything appears aligned on the surface. Work continues, execution moves forward, outputs are produced. From the outside, it looks coordinated. From the inside, something begins to spread. Meaning starts to loosen. What was once precise becomes adaptable. Each layer adjusts slightly to fit its own context. Over time, those adjustments begin to accumulate. The original intent is still referenced, still believed, but no longer held in one place. The cost arrives gradually. Not as breakdown, not as visible conflict. The cost is diffusion. Direction exists, but not in a single form. And it keeps going. Because every interpretation feels reasonable. No single moment feels large enough to interrupt the pattern. And over time, the source control becomes harder to locate. Where does your direction change slightly each time it is carried forward? Now, if there were people in this room speaking right now, we'll start seeing some patterns surface slowly. Some would describe decisions that felt clearer when made, but less clear when they moved through the organization. Others will notice how they repeat the same direction without it fully landing. Someone might recognize how interpretation begins to replace instruction. Another might describe a growing distance between what was intended and what is actually happening. There will be stories of leaders who feel present but less central in how decisions unfold. Teams that are active but not always aligned in the same way. Someone noticed that clarity feels harder to maintain as involvement increases. Others will recognize the same variations become harder to trace over time. No one would call it loss of control. They will call it collaboration. And over time, that interpretation allows the pattern to continue. The patterns would sound reasonable. That's why they persist. The tension does not need to be resolved here. It does not even require correction right now. You can carry it back with you without trying to consolidate anything. Just notice what happens, what shifts as it moves. And let whatever belongs to that becomes visible in its own time.